Hi, Andrea here from One Nine Design. I am sharing this little video tutorial with you today as sort of a part 2 of your website training. As you know, our time together during your website training when we launch your site is very brief and is packed with all of the basics about your website. It doesn't really leave a lot of room to cover some of the really great features Squarespace offers. And can be a little overwhelming when you're just first learning how to edit your pages. So I'm hoping to keep this video quick, but I do want to point out just a couple of really great features that are available to you. The first thing we're going to cover are pop-up boxes, and these can be really helpful for you in a number of different situations, whether you're advertising a new service, a new program, or just want to make a really prominent announcement on your site. So let's dive into pop-up boxes. You can see here I'm logged into my own website because I have my pages here down the left-hand side. We're going to actually go back a step and go down and click on marketing. And this is a menu that you may not have explored before. And you can see here under optimize, we have the very first menu option of promotional pop-up. So we're going to just click on those words. And if you've used cover pages at all, which we'll cover next in this video, you'll see that these work very similar. And you'll see my pop-up box down here at the bottom is turned on. Now I have mine set to be the length of the bottom of the screen, and it's actually kind of plain, and I want to change it up today. So we're going to do that just by walking through the steps here. So the first thing we're going to do is change the layout of the pop-up box. Now it's important to note here that the layout has no implications on your actual website. So any changes we make here are only applicable to the pop-up box itself. So I'm just going to click on change layout, and you can see here that I have many options on what I want the pop-up box to look like. I can make it look like you see mine here, this long box across the bottom. I can do a more typical pop-up here with just a rectangle in the middle of the screen. I can add a photo to that box, either to the left of that or on the top. I can add a background photo. I can make the pop-up over here to the right of the screen. I can make it cover the entire screen. So I have many different options here. So let's go with something like this one, which is a background image. And you can kind of see, and now this photo obviously does not work well, which is a great example. So we'll change that out. So we've checked our new layout, and I'm going to click Save. Now it's time to go back and actually edit what we're going to see in the pop-up box. So the first square we have here is action. And this is where we can choose what you want the pop-up to do. Now, typically you'd want the pop-up to lead somebody to a specific page on your site. So in this case, I'm using the Contact Me site. I'm just going to leave that there for now. You'll see if you click in the box here, you can choose the type of link that you want to send to, whether it's a page, file, an email, even a pop-up box to call you, which is nice. So let's try that one out and see what that looks like. So we say done here. And now if I click on the box, now I'm on the computer, but it's saying it's recognizing that's a phone number. It wants to open that in FaceTime. So that's a neat little option as well. So I'm going to click on save and go back. So that's our action box. And then we have our content box. And this looks very much like your design, your announcement bar that we find under the design menu. Simply change your headline and the body of your message. So for me, I'm going to say, now booking clients for 2019. And I'm going to just kind of take this part off and just kind of shorten my text there. Okay, so now I've changed the body of my pop-up box. Next, we want to control the display and timing of the box. So we have many options here. We can choose which page to show the pop-up on. So for example, if you're having a sale on your products and you don't want people to see the pop-up box immediately, you could choose to only display that on your service, on the page where your shop is located. Or if I wanted to, say I wanted to share this on my blog. I could choose my blog page and have a special announcement just about my blog. So very helpful option there. Or you can just, any page the person lands on, it will pop up. You can also have all kinds of timing options. So you can show it on a timer and a scroll. So you want somebody to have to wait a little bit and scroll down on the page before they see it. I don't recommend doing it just immediately when you get on the site. That is a turn off for some folks. So you can play around with those options. And then frequency here. Now, important to note that once you set your frequency, and for this case, I have it marked to not show up again after somebody clicks the button. You can reset that so that everyone will see the pop-up again. And that's important because if you change the message of your pop-up like I've done today, I will want everyone to see the new pop-up. So the reset button is very helpful. And I'm going to click Save. Here is where I can change the image in the background. Definitely if you have text, like I do here, you want a photo that is a little bland in the back so that it's not difficult to read the text. So let's say I want to use, let me just go here to my stock photos. Excuse me while I find a photo to use here. Having trouble finding my stock photos. Please bear with me. Okay, I'm not sure this one's going to work well, but we'll just use it for example purposes here. It should have been a little more prepared to select the photo there. So I'm selecting a new photo, and I'm not sure why. I'm going to turn this off and back on. Let's see if I can get that to refresh. There we go. Okay, so that really was not a great photo use, but you see that everything has reset here. Now I'm going to go down to style as the last step, and here's where I can really kind of tweak some of these options. So if I go in here to the overlay color, I can actually increase my overlay of that picture and darken that a little bit so the text is more visible. So that's a great feature to use here. I can also change the color of the button. So a black button here does not work great. So let me just change that over here to one of my brand colors, and you can see that makes that button a lot more visible here. I also don't like how that is left aligned, and so I'm going to see here if I can, that may be a feature of this particular layout, because I'm not seeing an option here to change the alignment. I can change the font as you see here, just like we can do on our site. So I probably wouldn't choose this layout because I don't like that left justification with the left button. I'm sorry, with the center button. I might be able to, there we go. So if I change my button to stacked, it's a little more visually appealing there. I still don't love that. But this is just a great exercise to show you that you have lots of different choices here. And just if you're not sure what they mean, just start clicking on them. You can't break anything. If you don't like it, just hit cancel. So I'm going to hit save. And you can see here that I've now styled a new pop-up box for my website. So again, this is just a great little tool to use. Think about how you can use it creatively in your own business. Please don't forget that when you're all done with your pop-up options, you want to make sure that this is toggled to on, especially if you're setting a pop-up for the first time, it's going to be off. And so make sure that you click that on so that your pop-up does appear. So I'm going to wrap up this video and start a new one, but that's all on the promotional pop-up option. And stick around and watch some of the others to see some other features that are available for you as well.